What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for the Spider S&P 500 ETF Trust with the ticker symbol SPY and the triple Q. I'll first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. So let's take a look at the Spider since last week Friday. That is when I left off. You can see that price closed at the 430.41 level, and then price continued lower towards that measure move target that I had at the 426.72. I got this measure move target from the previous impulse, and then when price was working its way down, this was the second. This would be the nice target for the bears to reach, and they did reach it, especially because price was still within this downward trend line. So it looks like price did break this downward trend line, and it bounced right from the channel support that I drew off the swing lows. So if I just zoom out, you can see that off the swing lows, there's this channel. We have some rejection from the highs and the lows, and we just saw a short-term bounce from the lows after the measure move target is met and a break of the trend line. I mean, there's a lot of bullish signs around this area, so there's a good chance price is expected to reach the gap fill, which is right back over here that the bears created. This gap can be filled at the 438, and the next target could be a retest of the 443. So again, if we don't continue higher from this channel, then the next target would be the 417.53. So I'll be surprised if price doesn't continue higher from here, but seeing that rejection last Friday is not really a good sign. Price did continue higher to the 431.72 level on Friday. However, you can see that price just continued down to fill in the gap that was created from that morning gap, and it closed right at the channel support. So again, this is not the best looking sign. However, there was a good attempt by the bulls to continue pushing up the price. So if we do see a break of the channel, then the next support will be right back over here at the 417.69 level, because that was prior resistance, and it could be acting as support once again. So again, if we don't bounce from here, then the next target will be 417. I am expecting higher prices. I'm expecting the 438 and then the 443, possibly even higher prices from there, because this is an uptrend, so we are near support. However, if price isn't trying to go up, it's probably going to be trying to reach this target first and then maybe continue higher from there. So again, let's see how this develops. Maybe the trend line could be a little bit more angled steeper or shallower, so something like that looks like it still works. So if price still wants to work down lower and lower, then this trend line right over here might be acting as some sort of resistance for the bulls to pass through. So we'll see how this develops later this week. So that's all I have for the SPY. I think the only thing stopping upward prices is this trend line. At first, I thought it was more steeper, but it looks like this also fits pretty good. You can see there is rejection off of these swing highs, so it could be working its way down towards that 417 level, and then from there, maybe we get a resumption of the uptrend. Now let's take a look at the weekly chart. So here's the weekly chart. You can see that we have this nice uptrend in play. Price is below the weekly EMA, which is not a terrible sign, but it's not a good sign either. Price did get below the EMA right back over here, and it did continue higher. So again, maybe that it can occur over here also. The weekly chart is not looking that bearish. You can see there's somewhat of a bullish bar. Last week, we have some tails on the bottom, or wicks on the bottom of the candle, and mostly it closed up. So it's not that bearish, but it did close red. Overall, like I said before, if this trend line is in the way, there's a good chance it can be working its way down to the 417 level. But there's still a lot of bullish signs because the measure move target is met and we are at the channel support. So either way, I'm expecting higher prices in the long term. I think there's a good chance the trend will continue higher out of here, even if it does come back to the 417. What you don't want to see is a strong break of that. That might be signaling something else, but as right now, I'm not expecting that. So either way, if we continue higher from here or the 417 level, there's a good chance we'll be seeing a possible new all-time high, maybe the end of this year at the 480 level, because this is a nice uptrend and price is not that far away from it. Let's take a quick look at the QQQ. So here's the QQQ on the, first take a look on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, the QQQ has not reached its measure move target. So maybe that's why the SPY has not resumed the uptrend yet. And if I draw a trend line for the swings, this one could be getting rejected also on a similar trend line. You can see there's somewhat of a resistance going on from the swing highs. If I make it shallow as possible, and you can see the measurement target hasn't been met yet. So there's a good chance that we could be seeing slight continued selling at the beginning of the week and maybe a strong rally towards the middle or the end. So the QQQ measure move target is at the 346 level, and you can see this is one leg down right over here. This is the second leg down. 346 is the target. It hasn't been met yet, so again, the bears are still trying to reach it, especially because they're still below the EMA, and there's this possible trend line like I drew right over here in play too. So again, we might be seeing a little bit more downside for the indices before a resumption of the uptrend. However, if we do see a crash for the QQQ, the target will be the 320, just like how the SPY was coming back down to retest the breakout. The breakout point for the QQQ is much lower, and it's at the 320 level. So again, I'm not expecting that to occur, but just keep an eye on that if price does continue selling off and staying below this trend line that I drew. So again, let's see what happens next week. I think we might be seeing continuation to the upside, but if we do see some downside, it's probably going to be short term, and then we'll probably see continuation to the upside from there. Now let's take a look at the weekly chart to wrap this video up. And you see the weekly chart, QQQ did pull back to the EMA and is staying above it, which is a good sign. So again, we could see the trend reverse, but if it doesn't, then you know why. It's because we have this downward trend line in play and the measurement target hasn't been met yet. So that's all I have for the SPY and QQQ this week Sunday, and I'll most likely give you guys an update next week Sunday. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.